They need days to bury the dead, and bank loans are their only way to buy a coat. This is how people live in the coldest city in the world. Their dead are not honored by burial directly, and their children are not allowed to attend school unless the temperatures drop below -60 in the winter, and instead of withdrawing a bank loan to buy a house or a car, they use loans to buy coats. They are the residents of Yakutsk, the most prosperous city in the world. Where is Yakutsk located? Yakutsk is the capital of the Yakutia region in the far east of Russia within the Siberian region, as it is not more than 300 kilometers from the North Pole, and is famous for being one of the oldest cities in the world, according to National Geographic, along with the villages of Oymyakon, Norilska and Tora near Yakutsk, in addition to international waterfalls Minnesota, Fraser, Colorado, and Barrow Village, Alaska, in the United States of America. Yakutsk is the capital of the Yakutia region, in Russia's far east, within the Siberian district. Strange habits practiced by the residents of Yakutsk to survive. The average temperature in Yakutsk in the winter is 40 degrees below zero, as it is characterized by long, cold winters, and a moderate, warm short summer. Yakutsk is the largest city built on frosty land. This city is dominated by ice, fog, and dry air to impose on people things that may seem strange to us, but they are normal for them as they help them to survive. Store ice pieces in the fall to drink in the winter. During the autumn, residents head to the Lena River in the east of the city to cut ice there into large cubes for storage outside their homes. And all residents without exception do this work to dissolve it during the winter and use it as drinking water, since tap water often freezes due to the low temperatures. Store ice pieces in the fall to drink in the winter. They never turn off their car engines to turn off your car engine during the winter. This means that it will remain idle for several days until you can dissolve the exhaust gas and engine oil, and therefore the residents of Yakutsk have to leave their cars in operation so that they do not go out. In addition, during the winter they cover their cars and the engine with a special clamp that relieves the cold, and they also put steam devices under the car to protect it and melt the ice on it. They never turn off their car engines. Forget about gloves means you'll be hospitalized. A person can forget about anything at home other than his gloves, because going out without it at 40 degrees below zero means that you will get a big hand disease, a disease that results from exposing the extremities to a harsh cold. This disease leads to damage to the skin and tissues, loss of feeling in the extremities, and may eventually lead to amputation. The fish market is your only haven for food. The majority of the population relies mainly on fish for nutrition and to compensate the body for vitamin D, which is missing in the winter for not being exposed to sunlight, so you will see in the glacier a big market for selling fish. The highlight of this market is that all fish are sold outdoors, as sellers do not need refrigerators, as the extreme cold keeps their fish frozen all the time. You can also buy fish by piece, or sometimes the seller is forced to sell you in cubic meters because the fish are attached to each other and have to cut them by the meter and sell them. The fish market is your only haven for food. Children's schools do not close unless the temperature exceeds -60. It may come to your mind that schools in Yakutsk are closed in winter and open in summer. Your imagination is wrong. The study continues during the winter and only closes when the temperature drops below 60 degrees Celsius. However, children can still use the sports clubs in their schools during school hours. The phones stopped. Population phones often stop working due to the severe cold and the transmission of this coolness to the battery. The reason for this interruption in cold temperatures is the lithium-ion battery used in most smartphones, which requires a liquid electrolyte that forms a middle between two types of electrodes in the battery in order to save energy. When smartphones equipped with a lithium-ion battery are subjected to very low temperatures, these liquid electrolytes freeze, which reduces their ability to send energy to the phone. Burying the dead takes several days. Burying the dead is one of the most difficult challenges facing the population. It takes 2 to 4 days to dig the grave in the freezing soil. This is done by setting fire to the coal and accumulating coal over it. After several hours, the embers are pushed aside and a layer of ice is removed until 2 meters under the soil are reached. Burying the dead takes several days. Burying the dead takes several days. A bank loan to buy a coat. Although the area is famous for extracting gold and diamonds, residents are forced to apply for a bank loan so that they can buy a coat. The price of a single coat is about $1,550 US, which exceeds their purchasing power, as the average per capita income ranges from $400 to $600 US only. The population is increasing. Despite all these hardships, the population continues to grow. In the past 15 years, it has risen by more than 100,000 people. The population now stands at 307,000, according to the latest statistics of the Russian Federation. This is the end of today's video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all our updates.